Hi everyone. We appreciate you being here this morning as we share with you on this Sunday of celebration after the Resurrection Sunday. John and I were just going to take a little bit of time and kind of like the children's time that was earlier, maybe just to sit with you kind of a relaxed way and to offer a little bit of some maybe laughter, I should call it, or some fun. And typically in the past we've had what we've called a Sunday where we do this, and we would pass the microphone around and people would just share, and the kids always have fun and we have wonderful songs and time of just sharing. But we're going to do that today, and I want to share just one thing. I really do believe that it's so important for people to have joy in church and to have fun, and I really don't think, in fact I know this, God would want us to do that, and there's nothing wrong with doing that, to have some time where you do share and some laughter and some time of lightheartedness. And so today, John and I are going to do that, and we're just kind of going a little bit back and forth. We're just going to do it for a few minutes here.
Yeah, I had an opportunity today, and this being ahead of the Sunday service, but I was watching Dr. Oz with Lund and I at the house. I just got done doing some work out in the machine shed, and one of the things that came on the program was a motivational speaker. And she's in the same boat that we are, basically. She's been dealing with this virus issue and trying to keep her home in a more happy place. And she found herself one day being stressed out and really kind of in a situation where she didn't feel comfortable being around her kids. She wanted to bring up their level and to make them feel a little more comfortable. So she did some things with her children, but then she came up with this plan where she put together a list. She sat down in her free time one evening and made up a list of things that were joyful in her life. And she talked about different occasions in her life. Like one of the things she used was that her favorite way to dress around the house and be comfortable, she liked a real plush pair of sweatpants. And that seems a little strange to some people, but it's what made her happy and joyous. And, you know, I just think that what we have to do during a time like this where we're under stress and there's painful issues come up, I don't want to take away from them. There's some people that have suffered severely and have perished in this whole virus issue. So I really don't want to take care of that. I want them to be kept in our prayers. But we have to understand that we will get through this and life will go on. And in the meantime, after last week in dealing with the resurrection of Jesus, we need to understand that sets in a certain place within the structure of our Christian philosophies. And we wanted to make this more of a happy service. You know, over the past couple of weeks, we've been very serious dealing with the Easter week and the Holy Week process and all that. But not having people here, we missed the opportunity to be with our congregation. So that's why we decided to do this happy sermon or joyous sermon, or however you want to look at it. Like David said, we've got a couple stories that we'd like to present to you. Go ahead, David, you can be first.
Okay. Well, I want to share this before I share mine. My kids helped me find mine. I just want to tell you that. I always need their help. But I need to share this, that I had two pastors that were mentors to me for years. And I never forgot both of them, but the one in particular. He always was a fun-loving man, and he had such fun services, and everybody loved both of them. And part of it was because they brought such joy. And I never forgot, he told me, he says, David, if people don't see humor or fun in the church service, how will they ever know that Jesus loves them? And I really think that. So that's one thing. And the kids are always laughing, and so we need to be like them. If Jesus is right, which he is, come unto the children, or if I get that right, let the children come unto me, for such belongs to the kingdom of heaven. Tells you how a pastor does it. So let me share. I just have two quick ones that I thought were really fun, and they're ones my kids liked. So let me share. 3 boys are in the schoolyard bragging about their fathers. The first boy says, my dad scribbles a few words on a piece of paper. He calls it a poem, and they give him $50. The second boy says, that's nothing. My dad scribbles a few words on a piece of paper. He calls it a song, and they give him $100. The third boy says, I got you both beat. My dad scribbles a few words on a piece of paper. He calls it a sermon, and it takes 8 people with baskets to collect all the money. I kind of like that. Okay. You go ahead. So.
My first little story is about a burglary. And it starts out, a burglar breaks into a house, and he starts shining his light around looking for valuables. Some nice things catch his eye, and he reaches for them, and he hears, "Jesus is watching you." This started him looking around, trying to figure out where this voice was coming from. Seeing no one, he keeps putting things into his bag. Now, again, he hears, "Jesus is watching you." This time, he sees a parrot. And he goes, "Who are you?" The burglar asked, and the bird says, "Moses," the bird replied. "Who the heck would name a bird Moses?" Says the man laughed. "I don't know," Moses answered, "but I guess the same kind of people that would name a Rottweiler Jesus."
This is good.
So that's my first story.
Okay.
You're next.
Thank you. I just have one more that I wanted to share, kind of like the kids did earlier. And it's all, I've got all kind of minister kind of jokes, I should say. A minister told his congregation, so this could be all of you out there. He says, "Next week I plan to preach about the sin of lying. To help you understand my sermon, I want you all to read Mark 17. The following Sunday, as he prepared to deliver his sermon, the minister asked for a show of hands. He wanted to know how many had read Mark 17. So several hands went up in the congregation. I might have to try this with you guys. The minister smiled and said, "You know, Mark only has 16 chapters. I will now proceed with my sermon on the sin of lying." I like that.
Yeah. Well, I don't think this will top it, but this is what I call a multi-denominational story. It says the Presbyterian Church called a meeting to decide what to do about their squirrel infestation. After much prayer and consideration, they concluded that the squirrels were predestined to be there, and they shouldn't interfere with God's divine will. It says, next, at the Baptist church, the squirrels had taken an interest in the baptistry. The deacons met and decided to put a water slide on the baptistry and let the squirrels drown themselves. Much to their surprise, the squirrels liked the slide and unfortunately knew instinctively how to swim. So twice as many squirrels showed up the following week. And over at the Lutheran Church, with this infestation problem, they decided they were not in a position to harm any of God's creatures. So they humanely trapped their squirrels and set them free near the Baptist church. 2 weeks later, the squirrels were back when the Baptists took down the water slide. Next, the Episcopalians. They had a problem with squirrels too. They tried a different program, and they went about setting out pans of whiskey around the church in an effort to kill the squirrels with alcohol poisoning. They sadly learned how much damage a band of drunk squirrels can do. And then we get over to the Catholics. But the Catholic Church came up with a very creative strategy. They baptized all the squirrels and made them members of the church. Now they only see them at Easter and Christmas. And now we get to the last denomination. And not much has been heard from the Jewish synagogue, so we put them in the program too. They took the first squirrel and circumcised him. They haven't seen a squirrel since. So there we go. Like it or not, we need a little levity in our life. If I've offended anybody, I apologize. But I think we need to laugh a little bit. And whatever you're doing at home, be happy, be joyful. Think about what we're trying to accomplish here. And I hope you can propose and get something going in your family.
Yeah, and we just want to say thank you for each and every one of you sharing with us. And I appreciate John being here. You can't see Todd here, but I need to mention him too. He's helping out. We're so fortunate for his help. May you be blessed this week, and may you have the joy of Jesus in your hearts too. God bless you all.
Peace be with you.